Hello everyone.
Hello there.
Welcome back to another episode of
Queerspace TV. We are your hosts today. Introduce yourself.
My name is Peter.
And my name is Celeste.
And we are here to showcase only the best queer by POC experimental artists in our scene, exploring the darker side of queer identity. And
our next guest is someone very special. Industrial sex icon, leather daddy.
And so much more. So
Oh my goodness.
let's get them on the Videodrome feed.
Do it. All right.
Go ahead and clap for me. Action.
Our next guest is someone incredibly special.
Super sexy. We're delighted
An
to have
industrial sex god, leather daddy
him.
icon.
Gosh, I'm sweating just thinking about it.
So
Oh my
let
goodness.
us consult our very special Videodrome-esque message board here, and please welcome Plack Blague. Yay, you're here.
TV.
Yeah.
Queerspace TV, baby.
Thank
How are you
so-
doing?
Yeah.
I'm doing great. I'm feeling good. The weather's finally warming up around here, and so that makes me feel a lot better these days too.
Nice.
That's awesome. You're in Lincoln, right?
That is true, Lincoln, Nebraska.
That's right. How has it been there during this whole crazy COVID times?
I feel like it's kind of about the same as everywhere. It's just kind of nothing, but that's nothing new for here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay, it's just been kind of trying to stay as creative and productive as possible, and also I took up walking, so I walk like 5 miles a day now.
Oh, that's great. Hell yeah. You're kind of so. Now, was Plack Blague, was that the first music project you started working with, or were you in other projects before? Or?
Well, I've been playing music, even live now, since I was 13 years old.
Oh,
And
wow.
bands when I was a teenager in high school and stuff like that. When I was 17, I moved to Lincoln, Nebraska from my hometown. And I started a band pretty much that day called Wastoid.
Nice.
And we were this like grindcore, power violence, super extreme, crazy punk metal band.
Sick.
And so that was like a main project of mine for a good 13 years. It was just something I really wanted to do. I was super into that kind of stuff at the time. I mean, I still totally am, but as a 17-year-old, I was just so aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was like my main project for many years. We did a lot of touring and released some records. It's actually kind of crazy. Our first album is called Total Pucoid. We recorded that this year and it was released 20 years ago this year. So
Wow.
it's crazy how it feels like it's not been very long ago, but sometimes it feels like it's been like a lifetime ago.
Yeah.
So that project, I played drums in that band. So I've been playing drums for like 25 years. And actually during that project, the bass player and I, his name was Jeff, we just decided to do this weird project called Plack Blague out of nowhere. And so that actually started 20 years ago this Halloween.
Right.
It's kind of crazy that like this Plack Blague project's been around for so long, but it didn't really do anything for years. And so like during that time, we were just kind of like a joke band in a way. Like I was booking a lot of bands around here and artists and just weird like performers and stuff like that. So this was kind of like a project to do and like play shows with bands that weren't necessarily grindcore or metal or punk bands or you know like just they were just different experimental weirdos and stuff like that.
That's
But
cool.
I also like during that time I just kind of played weird music with friends, but then I also did vocals for a band called Vickers, which was like this noise-based black metal project.
Cool.
No guitars in that band. We burned human hair on stage, and it was really crazy and just vulgar. So
Fuck
that
yeah.
was just a short-lived kind of band. We released a couple records.
That's
So,
awesome.
I've always been playing music, or it's just in my blood. My dad was a drummer. My oldest brother's a guitar player, so it's just like something I do. I play drums in my brother's death metal project called Ezra sometimes, and just one of those things where it's just like I love performing, and I love making music, and being a musician, and just a weirdo in general.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
Do you have like any like pre-show rituals to like get you in the mood or started?
Pre-show rituals.
You know.
So like, like the whole just changing process I do.
Yeah.
Before I go on stage is kind of my ritual. There's nothing like I really do per se. It's just kind of like getting ready is my weird ritual because it just can be different every time. Sometimes it's like 100 degrees and you're just like putting this wet, gross, smelly stuff on. Sometimes you're freezing and it feels good, and sometimes it's just nervous, and it's just the process of it is like building this kind of character to go on stage with, and I just really like that. I guess that's my whole like process, and that's what I do. My ritual. I have a beer,
Yeah.
Yes.
That's cool.
Sometimes just like getting nervous.
Get loose enough.
Yeah.
Knock the edge off.
I like to do that.
Totally.
Yeah, so like you said, at first Plack Blague was kind of like a joke band or something, but then how did you sort of develop like your performance persona, if you will? And because you're known for your live performances for sure,
This project was always kind of based around just this live spectacle performance.
Okay.
Our show was in a record store window on Halloween. We performed for 4 hours straight. It was like while the bars were going on, and so it was just like drunk people walking by, and we just kind of did it to like have fun and like get reactions from people.
That's so cool.
So like, and we saw everything, like people just like getting naked in front of us, eating dirt, rolling around. Like,
Holy shit.
It was like people like would watch us and stop and just be crazy.
Yeah.
It was so cool. I will never forget it. But, like,
That's so cool.
So it's always kind of been based on this performance, so like looking weird and different and acting crazy. So
Totally.
that's always been the idea behind it. So, but like, unfortunately, my other partner in Plack Blague passed away in 2011.
Oh,
and so like,
I'm sorry.
It was already starting to become even like more of like a performance thing.
Yeah.
So and after he died, I just wanted to take this project like just full force. My band Wasteland was done. He was in that band with me, and it was just kind of like a what do I do moment, just like, I just did it, and just like all of a sudden, just like it became its own thing. So that was like 2012 is when this project really kicked off as like a thing. It was exciting for people to be excited for something like this. And I don't know, I just really like traveling and being on the road. It's a whole other world and lifestyle, so I like that a lot. I'm really social, and I like to hang out with people, and I just kind of like to see different things. But unfortunately, like when you're touring, it's not like you're going to like, we're going to New York and go see everything. Like there's been times where we're in New York and we took a nap all day.
Yeah,
And
no.
we're at the show all day.
Right.
Exhausting.
But really, I just like the people a lot. They just motivate me so much. And it's cool to just see. That's how I see my friends and my family too. So it's just what keeps me going, and just
Love it.
I have to do it. It's just in my blood.
Yeah, that's so amazing. I think
Totally.
both of us too have noticed, like when we've toured together, for example, like in those smaller cities, like people really have an appreciation for like art happening. They're like, this show is happening.
Yeah.
Whereas, whereas like in more oversaturated like LA or New York, it's everyone's like, man, we can see a noise show 5 days a week,
Yeah,
like.
there's like a novelty to it when you're somewhere
I
else.
totally agree with that. I feel like even like the queer shows around the Midwest or like in the smaller towns, especially if there's like a queer party going on. Like for a weird example, or not a weird example, but a good example is Springfield, Missouri. There's a party called Get Dusted, and it's hosted by Crystal Method, and she made a big name for herself on Drag Race recently.
Right.
But that party is just in the middle of nowhere, and kids are just dying for it.
Yeah.
So when you're like this queer artist, or we sell a lot of queer art and t-shirts and stuff like that, people just eat it up because it's not so accessible.
Yeah.
Those are the more fun shows because
Totally.
Agreed.
people just go off. It's their time to finally feel themselves. That's all they want to do.
Total lack of ego, I think, too, when you're in those crowds. Yeah, like they just let themselves have fun.
Right, yeah. And like that's maybe their only chance to have fun. Maybe because I grew up relating to like not understanding queer or gay culture as a teenager because I grew up in the middle of nowhere, a small town. So it's like I didn't think there would be queer punks out there until like I finally saw some and met some.
Yeah, that's so fucking awesome. And also you just got a really cool award. You are you're the most outstanding experimental artist of 2020 for the Omaha Entertainment and Arts Award. We're so
outstanding experimental progressive rock EDM artist, to be specific.
Sick.
It takes 3 genres to be this Blague.
Yeah. That's so fucking awesome. That must have been like
It's cool.
Yeah. How did they go?
Like being appreciated.
Yeah, for sure. How did they go about doing the awards and everything? Was it all online or in person or?
This year it was online. Yeah, this is my 4th OEAA award, and so
nice.
They have like a big award ceremony in Omaha, but they did it all online this year, and just kind of announced. It was totally everything, just been totally different. And it was actually on my birthday this year, so I didn't get to see it. So I visited my parents for the first time in almost a year. So I surprised them, and it was just sort of I want to do this. Sorry, OEAs.
Yeah, that's even more punk rock when you don't even show up to get the award. And now we have a word from a very special sponsor.
Today on Queerspace TV, we have an amazing, sexy, freaking one-of-a-kind video artist, and her name is Sayaka Nono, and this is her amazing video piece.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
The flower of life is a timeless symbol, said to contain a blueprint for the universe, from atoms to DNA, from life to light. Leonardo da Vinci studied the flower of life's mathematical properties, intently, seeking to unlock the hidden properties of the universe. A symbol most commonly associated with New Age premonitions of sacred geometry, appearing in religious contexts all over the globe over the span of several millennia.
The oldest example can still be seen at the Temple of Osiris at one of many geometric arrangements of circles found there. It can also be seen in early Phoenician, Assyrian, Indian,
Sacred geometry implies that there is intelligence behind it. Sacred geometry is considered an ancient science that explores and explains the energy patterns that create and unify all things, and reveals the precise way that the energy of creation organizes itself. It is said that every natural pattern, or growth, or movement comes back to one or more geometric shapes. Geo means earth. Metry means to measure. Together, It spells geometry, which means to measure the earth.
Years of extensive animal experiments.
The river. One million people hoping to find the river.
Is everything okay? You seem to be having a crisis. Why don't you want to hear me sing? I have been told I have the voice of an angel. I have been told I have the voice of the sweetest angel. Is everything okay? Time is running. Is everything okay? Is everything okay? Is everything okay? Is everything okay?
The river.
Welcome, stranger. You have contracted the Pamela virus. She is now inside of you and there is nothing you can do. She is rapidly spreading through all of your major organs, including your brain. You have fucked yourself, fucked yourself, fucked yourself.
Passed across the head so that the heart was not affected.
Bye.
So what are some of your favorite reactions that you get to
the
your...
most memorable?
Yeah.
I was trying to think of some things to be like, I'm just going to say, one really memorable moment, so there used to be this party in Los Angeles called Mustache Mondays.
Oh.
Yeah.
The very first time I performed at that was at Masita Bar downtown.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
And it was I've been watching videos of mustache shows, and it was something I was so excited to be part of. And it was just one of those shows where I had a lot of people I knew there, and it felt like I knew everyone at the venue that night. And Nacho was just so amazing to me and my partner and us as Plack Blague. And it was just a really memorable experience. But the best part about that show was like your sets are only 15 minutes long, so like you have to put as much stuff as you can into a set in 15 minutes. But during that 15 minutes, the entire audience was just screaming the entire time. And like there's a weird video clip I have where it's all you can hear is just people screaming. And by the end of the 15 minutes, everyone in the crowd is just soaking wet and sweat. It was just
Oh my God,
so hot and
that was
crazy.
hot.
I remember that was really the first like Plack Blague show where we're just like, that was so intense, it was so loud in there and so crazy. But like, that was one of my most favorite like live show kind of stories. But like, other memorable things, like the first time I played with Adult in New York, we did a show together in Brooklyn. I had known them prior to this, but this is the first time I did a show with them. And after my set, Adam from Adult, Adam Lee Miller, was just like, That was so good, and just like so many compliments, and to me that meant so much because I'm such a huge fan.
Yeah.
And it's like, I want to produce your music, and
Wow.
I was just like, oh, okay. Hard to really pinpoint so many.
Yeah, totally. But have you ever had a lot of people being like, what the fuck is this? Like, this is crazy.
Actually, yeah. I've had incidences where people were like, you know, like, that's gross, or like, they're just watching people like really confused. But what I really like about this, like, they're disgusted, but they like can't stop looking.
Yeah.
And I find that so funny.
Yeah.
And I've watched people like take selfies of themselves, thinking like they're kind of like making fun of me. I've watched people like talk shit like on Twitter, like you're like posting my photo every time you're doing it.
Yeah.
So just like sharing my image. So,
Totally.
Like, like that, you know? So whatever.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I've had like people act really weird. One time, a guy in Lincoln, this is like 10 years ago, was like grabbed me out of nowhere, grabbed me by the neck, and was trying to choke me. And,
Oh my God.
Just screaming at me the whole time.
What?
I thought he was just like screwing around, so I was like, with the microphone in his face, you know, like, yeah, you know, like joining in, but really started choking me and pushing me to the point where like my brother had to grab this person off of me. And it was kind of weird. I didn't really know what to expect or what was going on either, so I just kind of went with it.
Yeah.
I did a show at Lethal Amounts in Los Angeles once where this person was just like pushing me harder and harder. And like the first time was like cool. The second time I was like, whoa. And then the third time was like really aggressive.
Yeah.
There was like another time and it was just kind of awkward and like, I can't really keep doing this. So like that person kind of got grabbed by someone in the audience, luckily. Thanks, Ben. And I grabbed this person and like took them out of the gallery. It was like, what are you doing? Like,
Damn.
like, it's cool. I like interactions with people, but when you're like aggressively getting more and more violent,
Yeah.
So that's like a weird reaction. But usually I think just like people just have a good time. If they're shocked or if they leave, they usually just, you know,
Yeah.
if it's not your thing, whatever. But,
Yeah.
Usually it's pretty cool and positive and fun. And I think a memorable show experience was like playing in Berlin and like this person came up to me after the show and I'm like, I've never seen anything like that before. And it just makes me like, you live in Berlin. Or, like,
Yeah.
That's what's cool. It's different for people and I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, good art should create like a disturbance of some sort, you know, so, it's, you know, shock to their system, you know, makes them consider their notions about things and all that fun stuff, you know.
Question their sexuality sometimes.
I love
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah? How many people have you turned? Do you have a list?
Never know.
What like kind of attracts you to that, like this kind of form of music? Because for me, like noise and metal and all that stuff, it just has this like this brash darkness that's very like authentic to my experience on this planet, you know? So I was wondering, like, what do you think attracts you to that genre of music, you know?
You know, I like it to be honestly just interesting. I like to keep things, if it's interesting, I like a really good performance aspect of things. That's like a big part of what really sucks me into like a group or an artist. It's like, oh, it's like they make really cool music, but they also have this like interesting look live to them, or they have this interesting aesthetic where they look cool or they look different, or they're trying to push boundaries of art into visual art into their music too. And I think that's like a huge part of what I like about saying just like industrial or noise or just like underground music in general. It's like a lot of it's so art based and a lot of it's so like, you know, there's a lot of messages to push around in this kind of music. And what I like about stuff like industrial, it's like fun and like you can like dance to it, but it can be really aggressive too. So it's like, I like those two kind of things pushing, pulling each other where it's fun, but it can also be like aggressive and in your face.
So Blake, what are your biggest influences?
My biggest influences, you know, there's just so many things, like even just art in general is such a huge influence. I've grown up painting and doing photography, like things like photography on record album covers is influential to me. So I really like photo-based album covers. That's like a weird influence I have. Artists, that I really enjoy, like musically especially, like Adult is a huge influence on me ever for like the last 20 years or so. And just kind of like getting to know them and work with them is always an influence to me too, because it's like, I like learning from people like them. I find they're so interesting. They're such interesting artists that when I watch them do their artwork beyond the music that they make, they're painters and photographers as well, and performance artists, and it's so like inspiring to me to be more creative, because sometimes when I feel like I'm not being creative enough, like I need that inspiration from people I know that are always being creative too, and I know how hard that can be.
So you're obviously very much a leather gear connoisseur or aficionado or whatever the word would be. Do you have like a favorite brand of leather gear that you exclusively use, or is it all different, or tell us about that?
I like to joke. So like this vest that I'm wearing is made by some company called Real Leather, so I like that.
Okay.
But I have a couple of people I work with. My girl is Sarah Huff. She makes some of my leather. Like she made this cap. She's made other vests for me, and what else? She usually kind of makes like accessories for me. My buddy Sex Man, she lives in Portland now. She was living in Los Angeles for a while. She's originally from everywhere, but I met her in Minneapolis. So she's a leather designer. So
cool.
She does it for me. So she's kind of one of my favorites. And my buddy Sex Man Leather, he's based out of Detroit. But I want to say he lives in Philadelphia now.
Cool.
I guess they're my favorites. They're just kind of weirdo punks that make leather.
Yeah.
I try to stay with the idea where like machines like inherit leather too. So like, you know, my partner, when I first started doing this project, he gave me his leather jacket from like, you know, his time of being a leather daddy, especially.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those things like handed down to the next person. So I like all that kind of stuff. But yeah, Sarah and Sex Man definitely are my favorites.
What would you say like you're most excited about for the future of 2021? What are some projects you're ready to release this year? What are, you know?
I'm just ready to like get back on the road, to be honest.
Yeah.
I miss seeing people, and I miss being around people.
Yeah.
I do live in Nebraska, which isn't necessarily the most queerest place on earth, so I miss being around queer people and miss like gay bars and just like cool queer spaces especially. And that's what I can't wait to get back to, just being on the road and performing in general. I do have some projects coming out on the way. I have a split 7-inch coming out with Cocky SP.
Cool.
And I'm just doing one song, but they're doing like 30 songs or something. Like, you know, they always release this insane amount of material. But I'm really excited for that because it's like, I've been a big fan of Cocky SP for a long time, just really extreme harsh noise, but they're just like completely new style. So I'm excited for people to hear that because to me it's their best material. I've been working on music videos a lot, so that's kind of my new thing where I made 2 music videos this year already. So I have one for my Wear Your Body Out song, which was released last summer. And I shot a video for it live during all this. So luckily I have a studio space where I can kind of do all this work and transform giant spaces. So I did like a live performance video. So I might release that any day now. I'm just kind of seeing who would want to help me release that. And I've been also working with this band Horror for Los Angeles.
Yeah, we love.
I toured with in Europe a couple of years ago. But I recorded a collaborative track with them and a music video as well. So I think that comes out in the next few weeks, actually.
Oh,
cool.
Exciting.
For that. And also the Wear Your Body Out EP, which is Wear Your Body Out in the Night, will be released as a 7-inch on Cubicle Records. And I'm just working on new records. I'm going to release a 12-inch on Phage Tapes out of Minneapolis. Just released a brand new song on FPE Records on a compilation for practically everyone. And so it was kind of that was something I recorded and mixed and produced all throughout quarantine. So I've been kind of like learning a lot more recording and stuff like that. So like the future for me is kind of like learning all these new things like video and recording, because I like to go to a studio and work with like an engineer a lot, because I feel like since I do everything myself, I like another ear, I like someone else's kind of like opinion or like criticism on something too. So I've been working with myself a lot, so that's like my next thing. But yeah, I'm just like ready to get back on the road, because that's where I kind of feel myself the most.
Yeah.
And kind of like, I'm a performer, and that's what I miss the most, is just like performing and being on stage and being around all these people and just having fun. So I'm just gonna go like full force when shows are gonna be back. I've been waiting to do shows, so I'm just like ready to kick around.
Yeah. That's so awesome.
Love that.
Yeah, I mean, there's something about the live show setting that's really hard to replicate, you know, because you have that push and that pull, and you have the audience reacting, and it's kind of like a psychological kind of experiment in a way.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
It's just like it gets your blood flowing like so crazy, so intensely sometimes you can't really capture that.
Yeah.
I miss that a lot.
Yeah, I miss like the fear of it too, you know, like kind of how.
I always feel like it's a complete release, like right after you're like, all right, I'm normal. It's almost like you took your medication or something.
Yeah.
I feel like that too. It's like, okay, now I can go about my night.
Yeah, no, I can act like, you know, okay in society right now. Like I got it all out.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Sometimes I get nervous. I do have my nervous times. So it's, I don't know why. It's just one time in Bordeaux, France, I was like having a panic attack, nervous. I don't know what it was, but it was just like. The second I get on stage, it's like, oh, I guess.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome. So you mentioned kind of like that you work in other mediums sometimes too, with the photography stuff and whatnot. Have you ever done shows of your visual art, or?
Yeah, I've done a lot of shows. I haven't necessarily in the last couple of years. I've been kind of touring so much, so like I haven't been focusing on like 2D art shows or anything. I do have hopefully a show lined up for August with a buddy of mine. There's a ceramics artist in Lincoln, Nebraska named Larry Bowler, who does like kind of like religious-based like butt plugs and like sexy old school porn-looking like ceramics plates and stuff like that. So he's like Lincoln's hidden like erotic art gem.
Yeah.
And so hopefully like we get this show rolling in August. But I like to do photo shows and like painting shows. I do a lot more photo work than paintings these days.
Yeah.
But I also have been screen printing for 20 years, so I have my own screen printing set up at my studio. I print all my own shirts, and my partner Butch Dick and I do like shirts together. So we finally like stepped up our game a little bit with like. So we're gonna do a lot more like poster printing and stuff like that too, which I haven't done for a little while. It's been a few years. But I want to incorporate a lot more like Plack Blague imagery into the art that I do as well, so I can kind of like, you know, cross my 2D with the music and the live aspect. But everything I do as Plack Blague in this project is all done by me. So visually, musically, conceptually, and like everything that comes with is all done by me. So whether it's the art or the photos, especially, I do all that myself. Like this painting of me.
I love that.
Is a cover of my Wear Your Body Out piece. I just decided to do like an 8-foot painting of it in my studio.
That's sick.
So like, start off the new year. I needed like a big project, and it was like, I felt like I went way over my head with this, and then when I did it, it was just so like I needed that. Just kind of get it out of me. You know? So I'm not selling or anything. I just needed to like prove to myself that I could do this.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's good, right?
Hell yeah. Well, we're so excited to hear about all the stuff you are going to do in 2021. And yeah, maybe you'll be in LA. Yeah.
2022, I guess, is going to be like the year.
Yeah.
That's what I'm guessing. Like,
I think so. Yeah,
222.
I'm to get some new records out for sure. So by 2022 is where I expect to really go full Blague.
Hopefully
things can kind of like start resuming back to
normal. Yeah, I feel like we're kind of like edging in that. I feel like 2021 is kind of like our still hibernation, but we're like kind of gearing up for like the great blast of like life again. So I actually,
cramming for that finals. And you're
right?
like, start doing it now because you got a whole year.
Totally, like no,
Yeah.
seriously, it does feel super, super crazy, and I feel like shows are just gonna be insane after all this is normal or somewhat normal, if it ever gets back to that. So.
I hope so, yeah. I'm just excited to just see people. Like, I haven't really gotten to hang out with anybody or see anybody this whole time, so all my friends live everywhere else but here, so I get to see my friends. That's, I'm not there, but I like doing things like this interview with y'all.
Yeah, thank you so much for doing it. Seriously.
Totally.
Did you have any other questions, Celeste?
Are you into the zodiac?
Zodiac, like...
Zodiac signs, like what's your
What's your favorite one?
What's your sign? That's what we want to know.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh, the Pisces. Pisces is the cum bucket of the zodiac. Did you know that? I'm serious. It's like a combination of every single zodiac. So.
I know. That's the best and the worst things about it.
Yeah, totally. God.
You can ask the ball busting question.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. So do you like to bust balls, or do you like to get your balls busted?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Depends
Like,
on
it
the
depends on the
mood.
day. 'Cause
Yeah.
sometimes I like being a ball buster. I'm not gonna lie, just in life. So.
Celeste is full dom.
Yeah.
Some days I wake up and I'm just like, damn, I want to bust some balls. And some days
I could not agree more. Oh my goodness. God.
That's right.
I don't know. Every day I'm like, how can I bust someone's balls today? So.
Well, that is a great message, I think, to wrap up this interview with.
Yeah.
Here is to busting balls for 2021.
Let's bust these balls.
That's right.
Crush 'em.
Well, thank you so much, Ross, for doing this.
You're truly, truly such an inspiration, and you're so amazing.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
This was exciting for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
hit us up next time you want to bust some balls.
Yeah, we'll be here.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, everyone. Everyone say goodbye to Plack Blague.
I'm crying.
I know. Thank you so much for doing this. We miss you already.
Yeah.